Meanwhile, at Superman's Fortress of Solitude, so over there is where we keep the giant space aliens. Over there is the armory. Wait a minute. Where'd Batman go? Oh, you know how Batman is. He always disappears and reappears. Nothing to worry about. So over that way is the kitchen, and me and Lois's quarters. Wait a minute. Batman's back. Where'd you go off to?
Sorry about that. I had to go use the restroom real quick.
But there aren't any restrooms in the fortress. What is up? How's the Legion of Comic Collectors doing today? Well, today we got something a little different. It is a tag video. I was tagged by Black Swamp Comics for my top 5 favorite key comics, and I will leave a link to him in the description. Actually, I believe the last video I did, I have a link to him too, because I won a prize from one of his videos. Great channel, great dude. He just did his top 5. If you want to go check that out, actually some interesting things in a book I never even heard of or really would have even thought to look for. So go check it out. A great video. He messaged me on Instagram that I was tagged to do this. And like I said, it's always kind of tough for me to do. And I'm not going to have any honorable mentions. I'm just going to do 5 key comics and try to briefly explain why I consider them important to me. So first up, something you've probably been seeing a lot of from me, but I probably would consider this my favorite individual comic if I had to pick one. This is the Superman 75 Platinum Edition. It is key because it is the death of Superman, and this variant, one issue per comic shop back in the day when Death of the Superman happened, was something I found out about, I guess, around 3 years ago. Didn't know it existed. Tracked it down, got one at a great price right before all of the lockdowns and stuff started happening. But I just really like this because for me, if it wasn't for being able to date stuff, I wouldn't be able to tell you what came first. But some of my earliest memories were Death of Superman, Nightfall, and the animated series, the Bruce Timm, Paul Dini verse. So this goes right back to the beginning. And, you know, you talk about, I'm not a huge key guy, but I do like rarity and things that are hard to find. And I think I've only seen one other person ever show this book. It's a book you just do not see. Yes, there were probably triple the amount of comic shops back then. You don't know the amount of these that were made, but you just do not see these. Even on eBay, there's a handful at a time up, and seeing them still in the poly bag and in good shape is even rarer. And like I said, I know I saw one person once show it, and I can't even remember who it was, or if it was on an Instagram post or a video. Just a book you do not see, and definitely, I think, the pride of my collection. Part of why I'm going after all of these foils now, because it just really hits home with that. So sort of sticking to my childhood, we have Batgirl Adventures 12, the first Harley Quinn, and this just sort of represents the Diniverse for me, showing it in this video. This, of course, is, you know, first Harley Quinn, and getting into comics, I may never have got into comics, but way back when my grandma was collecting Death of Superman, so it would have started with Death of Superman. I know that from the dates, not necessarily from memory, and she would buy me comics. And this was a comic she actually bought, and I got, sadly, after she passed. I don't know if she knew what this was or not, but she got it off the shelf, and it was sitting in a bag and board and in a box since it came out. And I got it. I did have a copy of my own that I gave away in my first ever contest. But yeah, this sort of represents memories, sort of something I had from my grandma, and you know, the memories of getting into comics and my love for the animated series from back then. And sort of jumping into that, like a newer thing. I don't know why I never got into Batman Beyond when it happened. May have just been hitting around the age when I wasn't into it as much. But watched it, you know, probably 3-4 years ago now. Watched the whole series because I did a watch through of all the Diniverse stuff and came up to this and watched it for the first time. Loved it. Got a complete collection of the Batman Beyond after that, and this, of course, is the Big Grail, the first appearance of Terry McGinnis and Batman Beyond in comics. Really, maybe the first Grail book I ever went after. Haven't been too many Grail books that I've just really went after. Found a lot of them, you know, cheap in dollar bins. But yeah, this sort of following with the Diniverse, and you know, moving more into now of things I've really discovered and got into later on. But love this book, love Batman Beyond, and love the Diniverse stuff. Something else I've sort of got into, this book will represent the Teen Titans and Deathstroke. A graded copy here, but I mean, I never disliked the Titans. I was always sort of focused in my collecting, and, you know, went after things like Batman, Green Lantern, Justice League first. And when you sort of finish my original goals, I started branching out, and it just makes sense because I do love Dick Grayson, Nightwing, and it would make sense that I would fall in love with these Teen Titans books. And Deathstroke is a character because of it. And that was a big goal a year or two ago for me, tracking down full runs of the Titans from New Teen Titans 1 up until the current, which sort of has went right up through Titans Academy and all of the Deathstroke books. And just really, really fell in love with the Titans and Deathstroke. So this being, of course, the first Deathstroke was a good pickup. I do have a lesser beat-up copy I got pretty cheap too, and the Dollar Comics reprints to read. I was super happy to get that book. And just sort of another thing representing things I've got into later. And talking about things I originally liked. I'm a huge Batman, Superman guy. I don't even list them when I talk about my top 5 characters because they're sort of like above the list in S tier. And you talk about people like Nightwing, Wally West, Mr. Terrific, Cassandra King, Batgirl, different characters, the Green Lantern verse. You know, I love all the Green Lanterns, especially Kyle. But this sort of represents 2 loves of mine. That being Justice League and Justice Society. So for book number 5, this is the first meeting of the 2 teams. Iconic cover that I just love. I was able to get in a trade through Instagram a year or 2 back. Love this issue, love this cover, and I love these 2 teams. Definitely a bedrock, a staple of my collection is Justice League and Justice Society. Love those 2 teams. So there you have it. That is my top 5 favorite keys, sort of representing how I got into comics, the foundation of my collection, and you know, going all the way back to the beginning, and even things I've gotten into now. So I picked 5 books to sort of represent that. I want to thank Black Swamp Comics for the tag. And for me, I'm going to tag my buddies from the Fanboys, Comic Fu, Tony Fett, and Magic Lasso. I am also going to tag my buddy Retrotigo, even though he don't make a lot of content now, but I would love to see a tag video from you, because in a way you collect real similar to me, and in a way you don't. And I just find the way you collect interesting, so it would be great to see your top 5. And I will also tag all of the Mystery Men, if you've been on Mystery Men. So that's, of course, Fu, Squatchy, guys like Brock Morgan, Warlord, any of you guys, if you've been on that show, you are tagged. So yeah, that's it for today. I would love to hear from you in the comments. What are your top 5? Even if you don't want to make a video, let me know down below. If I didn't tag you, you want to make a video, make it and tag me in it. I would love to see your top 5. I've been watching all of these. I believe it started with Alex the Comic Hoarder. So a big shout out to him. And with that, I'll see y'all later.